David here with Figboot on Pens, back again with another fountain pen review. In this hobby, it's easy to be influenced by first impressions of a pen. And the pen I have for you today is one that I purchased rather early on in my pen journey. And right off the bat, it just wasn't one of my favorites. I never reviewed the pen. I took it out of my daily rotation, and I haven't touched it in over 3 years. But now I'm revisiting this pen, and we'll see if my first impressions were correct, or if I never gave this pen a fair chance to prove itself. And that pen is the Pilot Custom 74. What I'm going to do today is go over the parts and features of the Pilot Custom 74. I'll talk about what I care for and what I don't care for. I'll show some measurements, size comparisons, and provide a writing sample. And stay tuned to learn how you can win this very pen, courtesy of Pen Chalet, who provided this pen for review and to give away. Ron from Pen Chalet was an early supporter of my channel, and I greatly appreciate it. The pen arrives in this simple box with a see-through lid. Under the lid, under the tray, there's actually a use and care guide, as well as a proprietary Pilot ink cartridge. And here we have the pen, the Pilot Custom 74. The pen comes in several different colors. There is a blue, clear, orange, smoke, teal, violet, and then what I have here is the Merlot. I think the burgundy color of this pen is really nice. This is what the clear model looks like, which is the one that I purchased. And we can take a closer look at this model during the writing sample. Each of the color variations of this model have identical trim, and the only difference is the color of the resin used on the cap and the barrel. I've mentioned this previously in regard to the numbering system Pilot uses for their custom and custom heritage pens. The number relates to the year of Pilot's existence when this pen was released. So the Custom 74 was released in Pilot's 74th year, which was 1992. If the pen has 3 digits, the third number represents the cost of the pen in tens of thousands of yen. In 1992, Pilot released 2 other pens, the 742 and the 743. So the 742 cost 20,000 yen and the 743 cost 30,000 yen. Let's start by taking a look at the cap. The top of the cap is rounded, and the finial is a translucent smoke resin. There is a rounded silver colored ring which transitions into the clip. This is Pilot's traditional clip. It tapers down, then on the end there is a large ball, which eases the functionality of this clip. I find it easy to use this clip on thinner dress shirt pockets, as well as thicker material like you find on jeans pockets. The cap tapers up slightly, and then we have this cap band. The band is slightly raised. On one side it says Pilot and Made in Japan, and on the other side, Custom 74. Something interesting about this band is that it almost has the appearance that there is a small band and then some plastic and then a larger band, but all of what you see here is in fact the metal. The colored portion between the 2 rings is also metal, but it's just painted in a color closely resembling the color of the resin. There is a small step down to the barrel, which is straight for a little less than an inch, and then it tapers down. And at the end of the barrel, there is another silver-colored band, and the very end of the barrel is rounded and made from the same smoke resin as the finial. The cap twists off to reveal this very nice 14 karat gold nib. This is Pilot's number 5 nib, and it is available in extra fine, fine, medium, and broad. I also like that Pilot stamps the nib's manufacture date on the nib. This particular nib was made in December of 2018. I also love the nib creep going on here. I just think it looks pretty cool. And here's a look at the plastic feed. The section is made of the same translucent smoke resin as the tips of the cap and barrel. It is slightly flared at the end and very slightly concave. The section transitions into the cap threads, which I don't find to be sharp or uncomfortable at all if your grip rests on them. I find the pen to be very comfortable in the hand. It is very light, but it's plenty long enough to use unposted. The cap does post, and it does post securely. The cap is light enough that I don't feel it backweights the pen or throws off the balance, so I'm comfortable using this pen either posted or unposted. This is a cartridge converter pen. Pilot does use proprietary cartridges and converters. The Con 70 converter, which kind of uniquely combines characteristics of a vacuum filling system and a push-button converter, is included. Let me actually show you this on the clear model. All you do to operate this is push the end, and you push the end here, and you can see that there's a little agitator in here, and when you push like this, the ink is drawn up into the converter. The Con 70 has a decent ink capacity as well, which is nice. The Pilot Custom 74 retails for $160, which I feel is fair for what you receive with this pen. It has a high quality 14 karat gold nib, and this would be a good choice if you're looking to pick up your very first gold nib for your collection. In the end, as I revisited this pen, I really don't feel I've been fair to it. At the time I purchased my original one, it was just something about it that just didn't hit for me. And the only reason I really kept it in my collection is that I have every pen in Pilot's Custom and Custom Heritage lineup, and I didn't want to break up the set. I think what it was at that time was that I was really in an acquisition phase of my pen journey. I was buying things left and right, and I was really quick to move on to newer purchases. I've mentioned this before, but one of my biggest regrets about my pen journey is moving at too quick of a pace. Once the bug really bit me, I really ramped up rather quickly. And the end result was that I didn't spend as much time as I should have using certain pens, like the Pilot Custom 74. And that's too bad, because in the end, this is a great pen. So I have officially moved this pen back into my rotation, and you'll be seeing it receive somewhat regular use. If you'd care to see what pens I use on a daily basis, you can follow me on Instagram, where I am at Figboot11. There I post pictures each weekday of the pens that I bring with me to work, and pictures of other stuff as well. Thanks go out to Pen Chalet for providing this pen for review and for giveaway. There is a link below in the notes to check out this pen on their site. In regard to the giveaway, all you need to do to enter is to be a subscriber to this channel and leave a comment in YouTube, or if you're a Patreon supporter, you can alternately leave your comment there. Additional detail in regard to the contest is provided in the notes below. In regard to a comment topic, I believe there's 9 different pens in the custom lineup. Why don't you let me know what your favorite is, or which one you would like to own one day? One of these days, I would like to do a video that shows all of the custom and custom heritage pens. So just an idea for the future. So now it is time for some measurements, size comparisons, and a writing sample. Here we go with the size comparisons for the Pilot Custom 74. I said we'd get a closer look at the clear version. This is what the clear version looks like. After pulling this out, like I said, I like this pen more and more, and I kind of like this clear demonstrator look on this pen, but that's what it looks like in comparison. And then in regard to a couple of other Pilots, this is what it looks like compared to the 742 that came out that same year, and here's what it looks like with the 743. For my Pilots, when they have special nibs on them, I like to actually keep the stickers on there. I don't like to take them off. And then it reminds me, especially since a lot of the Pilots look alike, exactly what nib is on there. So this one has an FA nib on it, which is actually one of my favorite nibs. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fun to use. And in regard to some non-Pilot pens, here it is with a TWSBI Diamond 580. Here it is with a Lamy 2000. And here it is. I can't remember if I've shown this pen or not. It's a recent acquisition of mine, which is a Leonardo Blue Hawaii. It's the Leonardo Momento Zero, and this is the Blue Hawaii finish. And it's just a cool pen. I just like the looks of that. But that's what it looks like in comparison to the Pilot Custom 74. So here we have the Pilot Custom 74. This is a fine nib, And the ink that I'm using today is Pilot Iroshizuku and it's Bishima 10. Let me see. It is B T-E-N. This is one of the new 100th anniversary inks. This is what the bottle looks like. It's the same bottle as the other Iroshizuku inks, but this time it has a little gold band on top, and then it has the special 100th anniversary limited edition label. And this is what the ink looks like. It's kind of a pinkish red. This is what it looks like in comparison to the Iroshizuku Momiji. And then here it is in comparison with the Lamy Crystal Ruby, which is kind of more of a ruby red, or almost like a rose red. And now in regard to the rest of the writing sample, I just love Pilot nibs. They're some of my favorite nibs out there. I think that they have a nice precision to them. They are smooth but have a little bit of feedback. You can get a little bit of line variation out of this fine nib. And that even though it's a fine, the ink flow is decent. In regard to reverse writing, it's a little bit on the scratchy side, but the ink flow is fine. And then in regard to some fast writing, the feed has no problem in keeping up whatsoever. So there you have the Pilot Custom 74. Like I had mentioned before, it's a pen that I had originally dismissed and really had not spent much time with, but after revisiting it again, I've really grown fond of it, and while I will be giving this particular model away, I still have the clear version in my collection and will be using it much more often. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.